Previous Consultation Territorial Council of Cabildos and Sowitec. The conformation of the Territorial Council of Cabildos aims for the integration of the four villages so that the government could recognize and guarantee the rights of a cultural diversity expressed in the territory through the sites and sacred places that are currently in the territory of the Black Line. We, as indigenous people of the mountain range, must make our voices heard, and that was achieved through the court ruling 489, where it states, any development project that is intended to advance into the area of the territory must have a previous approach in order to establish a previous consultation and then reach some agreements. Process. Here's the process we followed with the Wiwa people. We engaged in a series of intercultural dialogues with the focus on discovering and learning from each other since February 2016. They visited our business offices in the city of Barranquilla and told us about their culture and the way they worked. We both knew we had very different views, but always making the effort to understand each other, which was something very valuable both ways. Sowitec's approach to the process of the accords with the Wiwa people was based on the fundamental principles of self-determination of the peoples and respect for peaceful coexistence. In order to reach the Wiwa people, Sowitec took into account these concepts and elaborated on an essential truth that is vital to Sowitec as a company, that also served as a touchstone with the Wiwa, and it was the defense of nature, the protection of Mother Earth, as a fundamental principle that should be the pillar for all the agreements that the parties would reach. Among the conquests from the stance that the Wiwa people has taken before the Colombian government and their institutions, there's an iconic change that we can highlight: the case of the previous consultation with Sowitec. The most interesting thing is that the Wiwa people remain true to their heritage, to the truth of culture, ancestors, and its leaders, the mamos, and authorities. So they looked at the previous consultation as something very interesting. As never before, a consultation had been done the way it should. First, it is a previous consultation before starting a project or activity inside the ancestral territory. Location of the project. This is a project located in the municipality of San Juan in Rio Cesar Basin. It is a project that has 300 hectares approximately, in which solar panels will be installed for the generation of solar energy for the non-indigenous population of the region. There are 6 areas identified in which the solar panels will be installed. Those 6 areas make up a total of 300 hectares. We surveyed the land with the mamos and identified each of the sites and their function, but also connect to 4 important hills located in Rio Cesar's basin, and they are key as the connecting tissue and important to the governability of all the Rio Cesar Basin area. In this sense, we tried for the first time, and we believe we are making history. We're not sure if this is true for Colombian history, but it's true for us as a company to be able to talk directly with the Wiwa people, based on the self-determination and recognition of the other in their territory, from the perspective of respect, of culture, ethnicity, and a common goal that is the protection of the environment. We can summarize by saying that the Wiwa people carried out this process, generating ideas from the cultural, political, and the organizational perspective, as we said before, so that the consultation takes place in the correct way. We are in this process and we continue, and it is not finished yet. There has been benefits of all kinds. First, a clearer position for our society to understand that it is not only about formalities or blocking initiatives, but it is simply a degree of coexistence where the parties have tolerance, where they can reach agreements without these parties being affected in their rights. As we've said before, our cultural, political rights, and respect above all. So all this was fundamental because of Wiwa people's stance. Achieved agreement. The agreements that we achieved touch various subjects. First, the culture. The project starts off understanding we will be working inside the ancient Wiwa territory, and there is a cultural impact. Therefore, we agreed on a series of payments for 10 years on the sacred grounds identified by the traditional authorities, as well as in the project's area. With the cultural component, it is also important to emphasize the archaeological aspect of the project. A member of the Wiwa community will be part of the archaeological team. In the case of findings during the excavation process, everything will be handled through the traditional authorities. The second point is related to the environmental issues. We agreed to discuss and identify the most relevant environmental issues and the participation of the Wiwa in the process. We will bring into the team an environmental professional who would not only be in the elaboration of the study, but also in the latter stages to do a follow-up of the environmental impact and a cultural link that will serve as a kind of bridge between the Wiwa community and the company to review progress in the cultural issues. At the same time, forestry exploitation will be a joint activity. In order to do this, we had important conversations with the corporation as a vital part of the consultation. So the compensation for the forestry exploitation required by the project has been established in a cultural framework. We have received positive feedback from the corporation in this regard, and this will also set a precedent of work in this type of compensations. And the last issue, and maybe the most important and fundamental, was the political administrative issue that is basically predicated upon an axiom that drives the Wiwa community, which is the territorial consolidation of their black line lands. As a recovery of the sacred grounds they've had. The company will create a fund towards the territorial consolidation project and will invest in that fund. and the community will develop their project of territorial consolidation through that fund. History will tell us if this progress is made, since it is the first time ever. As we know, the rights of the Wiwa people have been violated before, because as we know, the previous consultation had not been previous, not even in agreement, but they had been imposed, or simply we had to initiate concrete actions to claim these rights. We can say that this example will help other indigenous peoples and organizations for future consultation within the sacred territory, as established and recognized by the Colombian Constitutional Court about the Black Line. The concept that the signing of the consultation protocol did not end the relationship we have, but it is the beginning of a new relationship that we hope will be long-term, so the next 2 or 3 generations would get to see the results. We believe that this bond between the Wiwa people and the company Sowitec is unbreakable. And personally and professionally, this leads to think that we have witnessed the beginning of a relationship with the indigenous people and regional inhabitants of the land based on respect and coexistence. Challenges of CTC. So we should look for ways to address the impact caused and find alternatives to guarantee protection from further impact to the Black Line area that currently comprises 17,000 square kilometers of that first Black Line that was verified by the Mamos in the year 1973 and which they ratified in the year 1995. One of the tasks we have done as Wiwa people, and with the accompaniment of other indigenous villages, is that today we have the redefinition of the Black Line as a result of the political talks with the national government from 17,000 square kilometers to 24,000 square kilometers, which equals 70,000 hectares that we have won today in political and legal battles. We are currently in the process of supporting our cultural perspective so that the national government understands that the traditional territory of the Black Line is a sacred territory and that we have particular characteristics of cultural diversity inside it that should be protected as established by the Constitution.